What do you want to do here? I feel as though the only reason Belal Muhammad gets credit is because he makes sure to go get it for himself. I really do feel that. Now, he's done a great job. Here, let me just talk to you. In the last 18 months, I made this statement 6 months ago and I said 12 months. I'm going to make the same statement, but I'm just going to add those 6 months. In the last 18 months, there has been no fighter get a bounce, go from where they were to where they are more than Belal Muhammad, and the only person you could tie with him is Sean Strickland. Those guys went from unknowns to main eventers. Belal Muhammad stopped Leon Edwards' win streak. Belal Muhammad has been in 3 main events. He hadn't lost any of them. You don't go from main event to undercard. Well, you can. If it was free TV versus pay-per-view on the most loaded card of the year, I mean, it's very shocking of where Belal is at. There's another way to look at it. Sure, there's a show going on and the whole world's going to watch, and he's the main event of that show. We can have this wordplay if we want. I'm just sharing for you that Belal Muhammad should not go from 3 main events of which he never lost to off the main card. Just shouldn't happen. Now, let me tell you a little bit about his opponent, Sean Brady. Sean Brady's never lost. Sean Brady was 15-0 the last time I looked. He might have had another fight since then. Don't think you have to correct me. He might be 16-0. 16-0? What are you talking? That is an incredible record. Sean Brady's beating people up. He's doing his thing over in the UFC. I'm the foggiest idea who he is. We just don't read. There's a lot of fights. I got 556 guys under contract. I do my absolute best job. But every now and then a stud slips through the cracks. I didn't know Rakhmonov until his 3rd fight. I mean, it just happens his way. When I see Sean Brady, it's not even in the UFC. Sean Brady walks onto a grappling mat to get humiliated by Craig Jones. He's going to get humiliated. Like, hopefully he got a few grand. And hopefully he was learning from the process of weighing in, being in the back, warming up, walking in front of the crowd so that he could take that over to his MMA career. He's going to get humiliated. And if you don't tap at the right time with Craig Jones, you're going to the emergency room. Sean Brady beat him. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe. I grabbed my phone and I text Joe Rogan, Sean Brady just beat Craig Jones with like 5 exclamation points. And Joe was thinking of me at the same time and was texting that back to me. Like, I hit send and I got his response. It was that shocking. We couldn't believe this. Then it turns out Sean Brady's in the UFC. Oh, then it turns out he's 15-0 in the UFC. Oh my, what is going on here? Why can this guy not get his attention? So he finally takes his shot. He stayed quiet long enough. He finally takes his shot. He goes after Muhammad. He gets the fight, and here they are. Before we get to that, because this could have massive implications. I mean, sometimes guys can get a real bounce. They can go into title fights. They can go into contention. They can go into the front of your minds. Sometimes it's the other way, where one guy, if he wins, not a whole lot happens, but if he loses, some bitch, he's going to sink. Just is. It's a cutthroat business. And sometimes those guys that build themselves, people are just waiting to pull them down. And I feel like a lot of that is on Belal's shoulders. I don't know very many guys that would be in the argument and the discussion to be fighting for a world championship, did 3 main events, which 5 rounds apiece. Do you know the training that goes into that, let alone the actual fight night? That would then be willing to take on a guy who's completely undefeated, but the audience just doesn't know who he is. That's the battle Sean's at right now. Sean's got his record out there. He's got his skills intact. He's trying to get you guys to recognize and know who he is. That's a very normal part of the process. I'm just sharing with you, there's not very many guys like Belal that would then go jump on that grenade, and I think he deserves credit. When you have guys that are out there and they're asking for things, there's a litmus test. Even though it's never spoken of, there is a litmus test with us, the audience, which is, if he wants something big and beautiful and shiny, is he willing to do something that is in the exact opposite? If we're going to root for the organization to give him what he wants, is he willing to do for the organization what they want? That's the litmus test. It's very simple. The answer with Belal Muhammad is yes, he deserves credit for that. He deserves recognized for that. I really want to make sure that that part of the story is told. When you are a multi-time main eventer, when you believe I'm going into a world championship fight, which I think might have exactly been the case with Vincenzo Luque. I think if Luque would have beaten Belal, he might be going right in there for that belt. He would definitely be in the discussion. Belal gets the jump on Luque, which was a reversal of their first contest that many people didn't even know about. I don't feel he got credit. And there's people on the second floor that are going to argue with me and go, Chael, that's because you don't understand the numbers. You don't understand the position that we put. I get it. I get it. Please. I do get it. I'm just sharing for you, that is a massive fight. Of everything that's going to go down on this card, guys, go take a closer look at this card. And you're going to have to do a level of research. If you do what I do and you go to the dirt sheets, it talks about the feature matches. You got your headlines, you got your top storylines. Do yourself a favor and just bring up the entire card. This is the nastiest, most loaded card in a period of time. I was told yesterday that Uzdemir is on the card. I haven't done the research to confirm that. I'm just sharing with you. What do you tell? Uzdemir's on this card in would be an undercard against an opponent that I don't know in a fight that I don't know about. I want to see that. And if you go look at the card, you're going to see 2 and 3 and 4 other names that are just like that. And I'll give you an idea of what I would like to happen to the winner of Belal and Brady. Okay? I mean, you're out of the frying pan and into the fire, but the winner there should take on Rakhmonov. Now, when they take on Rakhmonov, that can't just be a fight that slips through the cracks that us hardcores know about and Chael comes and screams about to his 2 listeners with the window sheen. There's got to be something on that. Rakhmonov is undefeated, never been beat. Brady is undefeated, never been beat. There's not another match that you could match up anywhere on the card. Forget about championships, top contenders fights. That is a nasty, nasty battle, and something needs to be on it. The same needs to go for Belal. We can't keep letting Belal go out there and doing a great job and bringing attention and making things entertaining and doing the hard work and getting the great results without giving him something. We just can't do that, right? And I know these guys get a little bit of prestige and they get a little bit of money, but we still have an obligation too. We don't only take. There's times that we have to give back. And we've had this talk before here, guys. Gilbert Burns, we the audience and the community owe Gilbert something. And I really do believe that Belal Muhammad and Sean Brady fall into that same category. Now, we can put our heads together. We can go to the comment sections. Let's get a little back and forth. Let's figure out what that is. Maybe it's not a number 1 contenders match, but I like the idea of Rakhmonov a lot. I like the idea of shining him up. Then you're going to need somebody with a level of courage, right? You can't say I want to fight for a world championship. I won't fight that guy. And many people would like to do that. Belal's not one of them, but he's got to be recognized for that. It doesn't matter what the deed is if you don't get recognition. So many people, your parents and your teachers and people will tell you, do things because it's the right thing to do. Don't do things for credit. That is true in some walks of life. In business, you must get the credit. You must. If you show up an hour before everybody else and you're cleaning that office and straightening and getting the heat on and making the coffee ready for everybody, if nobody knows that you did it, it doesn't count. You have to get credit. And that can sound brash and hard sometimes. But whoever goes and fights Rakhmonov at next is going to have some big balls. I know some tough SOBs that have said no to Rakhmonov, and so do you. So if you're willing to go out and do that heavy lifting, we, the community, we must recognize it, and we must make sure that they get the recognition they deserve.